hope you're doing well. Today we are gonna do a fun get ready with me with my favorite products from my monthly makeup drawer for the month of July. I have truly never gotten as many compliments as I have at work when wearing this combo, so I figured I would show you what I've been using, what products I'm kind of trying to work through, and we'll just kind of chat about what's been on the roster lately. If you're new here, hi, my name's Molly and this is my new YouTube channel, The Beauty of It All. I'm a Sephora employee and beauty lover, so if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love for you to do so. Starting off with a primer, this has just been constantly in the rotation. This is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Water Power Serum Primer. Just such a staple for these like hot, humid summer days. This stuff is so good. I put it just primarily in my T-zone, working it towards the perimeter of my face, but this just sets the stage really nicely for a good makeup routine. My skin's lightly prepped with skincare, but honestly, I've kind of been taking it a little bit easier on the skin prep during these like really hot, humid months. So this has been a good one to start out the makeup routine with. Next, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of color corrector. This is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter in Pink Pomelo. I have really been liking the shade of this one. I mostly put this on the inner part of my eye, and then I try and let it just sit for a second before I really start working it into the skin. So once that's dried down a bit, I'm just going to lightly pat this in, but I really do want most of the coverage to kind of stay where I put the concealer initially. And then next, what I think has been kind of like the really big difference in what I've been doing with my makeup routine is I've used the Merit Perfecting Complexion Stick, and I haven't used this honestly in probably 6 months. It's funny, I walked into work at Sephora the other day wearing this for the first time again, probably in months, and within like 5 minutes, I'm not, like, I know it's dumb when content creators say, I've had so many people tell me, but like, I really did have at least like 4 or 5 people tell me like, oh my gosh, your base looks great today. Like, what are you using? And it was this, which is funny because I actually think this is like not the right shade at all for me. This is so peach on my skin. Usually I go for more of a neutral or like cool tone complexion product. I'm just gonna start blending this out with their #1 brush, but I don't know, maybe this one in the summer months just does something different. I will say this is not a complexion product that I can use at all in the drier months. I find it can be drying on the skin if 1, your skin isn't prepped correctly, or 2, if you have just really dry skin. If you have oilier skin though, this is awesome. And I think that's why it's looked so different lately, because my skin is definitely getting a little shiny throughout the day. But I feel like with this cream foundation, it just holds a little bit better. So I don't know, maybe that was contributing to it as well. It sits really well on my skin right now. But again, it's not something that I feel like is really universal throughout the year. Like, it's definitely a seasonal product, which is not ideal if you're just someone that wants like one product to work for you the entire year, unless, again, like I mentioned, you're particularly oily. That might be a good grab for you then. Something else that I've broken out that I haven't been using lately is my Chanel cream bronzer. This is the Le Beige Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream. The shade that I have is 390 Soleil Tan Bronze. It's the lightest shade. I think that I was unfortunately just not being very smart about this when I used it a few months ago. I haven't broken it out in a really long time. I, until the past couple of months, admittedly have not been great about cleaning my brushes. What I noticed was that I would always use this IT Cosmetics brush with it, and it just looked so patchy. It looked streaky. It just looked clumpy and just not great. Well, I finally realized it's because I was only cleaning my brushes like every, don't judge, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, which is so bad. So I have regularly been making it a point over the last 2 months, I would say, to clean my brushes once a week at least. I have noticed such a difference. Like, things just go on smoother. I feel like I have to use less product because the brush picks it up more easily. And if you think about it, no duh, Molly, that makes sense. Like, if you're using a brush that has so much product caked into it, it's going to look weird when you put it on. So I don't know, I've been enjoying this bronzer more lately now that it's just applying a little bit better, but I think that was kind of my own fault for not just being a normal cleanly person. I don't know. Warming up the face a bit with this. I do also like to just kind of take this over the nose. It's a really subtle bronze. This is not like the most pigmented bronzer that I've talked about by any means, but it is just so nice, and it just like gives a natural finish. It's not too glowy. It literally makes your skin look nice and healthy and warmed up. For blush today, I'm going to be using the Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil. This is in the shade Just Peachy. This is a really great cream blush. I just take a beauty blender normally and lightly tap it in there. This one on me is pretty pigmented, and so I find that I don't need a ton, but then I just take my beauty blender and start to lightly tap this in. Now I know it looks a little weird because I've still got just that color corrector on. We're gonna fix that in just a second here. This blush is so pretty though. It's a great one for summer. It just gives like a little bit of life to the face. And it's super, super buildable. This is, like I said, it's pretty pigmented, so I don't need a ton, but I'm just going to call that good. I think that's plenty for today. And again, I know this looks weird. I look like I have just like a wash of peach under my eyes. We're gonna fix that. Stay with me. I feel like I'm so just loyal to a foil right now on this Haus Labs concealer. This is in the shade Light Peach. Here's where we'll kind of correct some of this just like wash of peach going on under my eye. So I'm going to mostly concentrate it here towards the center of my face. But then what I also really like to do is take a bit more and just kind of give the eye a little lift. So that and that, just on both sides. And again, I want to let that sit for a second to build up the coverage. I'm not gonna do anything with it right now. We're gonna go in with a couple of powders first. I have been using my Armani Luminous Silk bronzer a lot, but I do wanna make sure and give my Haus Labs bronzer some love too. This is in the shade Light Level 3. It's their Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer. And I'm just going to be taking a bit of that and setting the Chanel bronzer that we previously put on. This shade particularly right now is just working really well. I think in the winter time, I probably should go down a shade, but honestly, the Armani bronzer that I have will be a better fit for the winter time anyway. So this one is fine. And I want to keep using it throughout the summer. Okay, now finally ready to fix this concealer. I'm just going to take another beauty blender, and I've really started to be more intentional about when I'm blending out concealer. I don't try and move it as much. I try and keep it fairly concentrated to where I actually applied it and brightening where I really need the coverage. So I'm going to keep it mostly in the center, and then I just take a little bit of the excess towards my outer eye, and then on the side here I just lift a bit and blend that out. Hopefully you can tell here though, like this just looks much more blended, much more natural versus like we've got like a little bit too much blush up here, and just again kind of a wash of that color corrector under the eye. So gonna do the same on this side. Finishing up the rest of the powders here, I'm going to set my blush today with the Milani. This is such like an oldie but a goodie Luminoso, their baked blush. I find that this blush just works so great with either pink or coral tone cream blushes. You can add a little bit of dimension by using this on either one of them because it can pull really beautifully either way. And I'm just going to lightly dust some of this onto the blush. It's so pretty. It is, again, like the name suggests, it's luminous, but it's not glittery or shimmery. And this just helps to, again, set some of the face and make sure we're not looking too oily throughout the day. And then for the rest of my face, today I'm just gonna be using my Fenty Beauty Invisimatte. I do like this powder. You can maybe see in here, it's hard panned a little bit around the edges, which, you know, isn't the biggest deal in the world, but it's kind of annoying. And then I'm just taking this as a Mario F1 brush. One thing I do like about this powder quite a bit though, is it is really, really buildable. So it's pretty hard to like overdo. So if you find that you have, you know, maybe a harder time finessing a powder, like you just feel like you always put too much on, or it just doesn't, you know, it's not easy to use, this is a pretty good, I would say, like beginner powder. And then for under the eyes, I'm just gonna set with my Pat McGrath. This is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder in the shade Baby Pink. This one is super, super lightweight. I just take a little fluffy eyeshadow brush and lightly tap that in. You don't have to use too much. I think sometimes it can be tempting to, you know, go overboard with under eye powder to make sure that your concealer really doesn't crease, but sometimes that kind of has like the opposite effect. So I found that using a lighter powder has really helped to not make my under eyes look too heavy and just nicely set my makeup. I'm gonna go in and tightline my upper lash line with the One Size. This is the Point Made waterproof gel eyeliner in the shade Busty Brown. This has been a nice little like enhancement to my makeup routine, I would say. I never really used to tightline, but I found that this is a nice way to give my lashes maybe a little bit of a fuller look towards the base. And it just makes my eyes look a little more, like it makes them pop a little bit more without having to actually like put eyeliner on my lid or attempt to do a wing, because half the time I feel like that just ends in disaster anyway. So this is kind of a nice in-between. Hopefully you can tell, like it's just a little deepened toward the base of the lashes. It's not anything super crazy, but it just gives a little nice like enhancement, I think. And then as always, Tower 28 Brown Mascara. Just gonna pop 2 coats of this on today. Perfect. Beautiful, beautiful. Next, I'm just gonna set my brows. I've been using the Benefit 24-hour brow setter lately. I got this 3 or 4 months ago. I've somehow never tried this brow gel. It's really nice though. I find that I've already set my brows with, or like done my brows with the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow powder. But I find that the duo work really well together. Like the powder just kind of helps them keep their hold, and then I can more so shape and define with the gel, but it's been a good duo the past few months. Rounded it out with a lip combo. This is what I've been wearing that I think has been a newer one for me. This is the Ilia Lip Sketch Hydrating Crayon in the shade Pink Door, and then the gloss that I've been topping it with is Makeup by Mario Pro Volume Lip Gloss. I got both of these in gratis at work. I don't think that this lip gloss is available anymore. I'm pretty sure it was like a holiday edition. Any like pink shimmery gloss will do the trick though. These are a new launch though. I have liked this. I'm just gonna quickly line my lips here and then I'll keep talking. I've enjoyed these lip crayons. They are very easy to glide. The pigmentation is really good too. However, in no way, shape, or form are these hydrating, in my opinion. And that's where I have the issue. Like, I don't care if a lip crayon is not actually hydrating. If a lip liner isn't hydrating, I actually don't find that to be the main intent of a lip liner. My beef is when the marketing team goes, hey, if we call it hydrating, people will think it's hydrating. And like, it's not. It's really pretty. It's good pigmentation. It's nice that you can line and fill in your lips with one product. I think that's awesome. It's not hydrating, y'all. So we're topping it with a gloss. Again, this is the Mario Pro Volume Lip Gloss in the shade Rose Nude. And this just kind of helps to actually keep my lips hydrated. The reflect in this is really pretty though. It's got a nice shimmer to it, and I think just gives the lips a little bit more dimension than just a flat matte look. This is what we've got. This is again has been the products that I've been using on rotation in my everyday makeup drawer for the month of July. Everything will be linked down below, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. But my name is Molly, and thank you guys for joining me to talk about the beauty of it all. Bye everyone.